Oh! Oh! Oh, man.
As you just saw, our co-host Stevie Johnson still has the goods.
No doubt. You're telling me Brandon Beane's out there calling Miami for Jalen Waddle when this man is available as a free agent? What's going on here, Stevie?
McBean, pick up the phone, tap in. I'm ready whenever.
This is Broken Table, Hein, AK Stevie. And don't worry, that video you saw off the top, that's Stevie Johnson just absolutely dusting beer leaguers.
Yeah.
We will get to that video a little later in the show, but we got to go right into what happened last night. An embarrassing performance from the Bills, losing on the road to Houston. And Stevie, let's just start with this. Like, are major changes needed in Buffalo, or can the season be salvaged with small tweaks?
The season can be salvaged with small tweaks. However, I will say there is going to be big changes in the offseason if the team continue to play this way going throughout the rest of the season. High time.
Yeah, and I mean, you consider last night, Josh Allen under constant duress. Houston deserves a ton of credit. That defense is disgusting. Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, that pass rush was all over Allen and the Bills. But, that was a tough watch, man, on a number of levels. And I think when you look at people to criticize after last night, you could look at a number of different directions. You could look in the top in Brandon Beane. You could look at the quarterback in Josh Allen, the offensive line, the receivers, Joe Brady. I mean, who's to blame for a performance like that? It's difficult to discern, but man, there's a lot of blame to go around after putting up 19 points like that.
And this is the great debate of sports media. We talked about it before. Everything sort of leans to the negative. But Stevie, you had a tweet yesterday that I kind of agreed with, because watching the game, I was furious and I was angry. But at the same time, as bad as they played, you're still on. You're at the 20-yard line with a chance to win that game. So I'm perplexed because I don't know. I want to blame all of those people you said, but at the same time, they were so close. And honestly, who has looked good against that Houston defense? No one has. That's the best defense in football.
Yeah, exactly. So props to them, credit to them, like AK was saying, and like you just said. But at the same time, that's because our team is actually really good. We have a great team that McBean put together. They assembled a versatile group. They added depth. Obviously, the stats aren't there, so that's where I believe the changes may be coming. We can talk about that another time. But to have all those things happen in that game and still be one field goal possibly, if considering Matt Prater makes the kick
another good point
early in the game. Yeah, that's a win for the Bills, So that is a Super Bowl caliber team. I just feel like they need to step it up. They need to elevate their mind. They enter these games as if they're just going to show up and win. That's not going to get it done in the NFL right now. High time.
So here's my counter to that. We are all talking about a moral victory for the Buffalo Bills. Could have happened this way, could have happened that way. The reality is they lost. And you consider the division now, which is pretty much a foregone conclusion.
It's done. The division's
The
wrapped.
Patriots are winning the AFC East, which could actually be a good thing for the Buffalo Bills in the long run. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. You're 5, 6, 7 seed. Maybe you're going to Dallas, Denver. Maybe you're going to Indianapolis. Who knows? But I mean, it's just tough to really come up with these moral victories when you are a Super Bowl contender. You go into the season, Super Bowl or bust mentality, and you're losing to Michael Penix this year, you're losing to Tua this year, and now you're losing to Davis Mills. It's not acceptable for a team that views itself in the same light as some of the best teams in the NFL.
While also beating Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson.
That's true.
So, I think this is just a weird year in the NFL, and no one is really looking great. Everybody has these sort of weird losses. And I look at last night, that defense was dominant from Houston. This is a great stat from Josh Allen. He ran the third most yards by distance from snap to whistle, 882 yards. This guy was running for his life all game.
Marathon.
Only Shakir and Dawson Knox ran more.
Wow.
Also, sacked 14 times last year, 2024, sacked 28 times this year, including 8 yesterday. One thing that bothered me, and this is where if I'm going to put the blame anywhere, I'm going to put it to coaching. Spencer Brown was clearly injured. He was favoring that shoulder. He could not do a thing against Will Anderson. Why are you not pulling him early? Why did it take you until the fourth quarter to pull him from that game, Stevie?
Man, that part right there. So that just like AK pointed it out straightforward, hey, you lost the game. There's no glass half full. You got to win those games. Coaching, and you could just call it out, High time. That's what it is. You got to evolve and develop the players and take care of the players. At first, we saw Milano and Bernard playing 1,000 reps. We saw Khalil Shakir playing 1,000 reps until guys like us called it out, and ladies like Takia. And then you see a mix of players rotating in. Then you go back, you win a game, then you go back to the norm. Like, we know Spencer Brown's getting work. Sub them out and get the other guys in. Bring them in for certain snaps. You know, it's ways to do this and manage the team. And I don't see the management being as good as it should be, considering the situations that's happening, brothers.
Yeah, and another way you could look at Josh Allen running around just looking for somebody to throw to is the fact that maybe, once again, we're talking about a team that just doesn't have the collection of receivers that can win on the outside. Mm-hmm. And is it the chicken or the egg? Is Allen holding the ball for too long, or is he just waiting for someone to get open against that very stingy Houston Texans defense? I don't know the answer. I think it's probably a combination of the two, but I mean, you're looking at this now and you're trying to figure out the Buffalo Bills offensively, the predictable nature of what they presented. We saw Allen on the sideline freaking out, looking at Mitch Trubisky. What are we doing? What are we doing?
That was after that bad 4th and 1.
Horrible 4th and 1 where you just give it to James Cook here. And I mean, you have Josh Allen, the best player in football. Keep it in his hands. Either run some tush-push variation, let him do what he does best. Handing the ball off to James Cook in that situation was simply too predictable because we've seen it time and time again.
Well, and you nailed it with predictable because, Stevie, maybe you can touch on the nuances of this. They run that mesh concept over and over and over again, and they ran it on the 3rd down when they had Shakir and it was batted down by Will Anderson, and then they ran it again on 4th down. Why just go with the same plays over and over again like that?
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. Just like you running, like you said, a counter play on 4th and 1 with a 6'5", 230 MVP, and you have a guy in Reggie Gilliam who's the equivalence of a Mike Allstott when you talk about tush pushing. You know, so why not just do that? We saw him early in the game do the tush push, and Josh dang near got 7 yards, it seemed like. So it's like, just go back to doing that. Why go do the difficult things? So that's why I say it's mind-boggling in the high time. I don't understand it. That's why things may change later on.
Also, too, James Cook was exhausted before that 4th down. He ran to the sideline and was sort of like, hey, like, I'm coming out, but then they're going for it, and he's coming back in.
Get back in there.
And Allen said it in the postgame, and it seemed like he kind of threw some shade at Joe Brady.
No doubt.
That they should have called a timeout. They weren't really, the play came in late. Whose fault is that? That's Joe Brady's fault.
The play came in late when that was Allen's response when asked about that instance is not exactly a good look on the connectivity between Allen and his offensive coordinator. That has to be a concern. And again, you look at some of the decisions they made last night. Joe Brady's under a lot of duress right now from Bills fans, and I think that is totally appropriate. Stevie, what do you think?
Yeah, so for me, Josh Allen has to also own up to it also. You know, 2 weeks ago, I was saying, hey, Josh got an audible. Get up there, and if you know there's a play that doesn't seem right, you know, you got the ability and authority to audible a play. Then the week after, you know, they win the game. Joe Brady dials it up. We saw Josh miss some options, and then but they still won the game. You know, then you go to this week where you get a 4th and 1. I'm bringing it back up again. Josh, you don't need to listen to Coach Brady. If he's telling you to do a counter play where you're giving the ball back 5 yards when you just need to get 1 and the gap is there, you know, talk to your lineman. Hey, guys, get these blocks. Control this block. Hey, Reggie, I'm going to check it. Get me up there. That's all you have to do. Don't go to the sideline and say, what are we doing? You're the man, bro. You go do it. You know what I'm saying? Call it. That's what I was saying in the past, you know, but Josh is so great that he's going to make up for it. He's going to do something great and then people will forget about it. So that's why it's good when the pressure is on Josh or the errors is on Josh because he can make up for it. He can handle it. You know, so we'll see how things go.
Yeah, and you look at the frustration from McDermott postgame. I watched his entire postgame, and how many times did that guy bring up the fact that Josh Allen was getting hammered by the Texans? And that's the one thing that cannot happen with the Buffalo Bills. Needless to say, if Josh Allen were to go down, which at a moment last night you thought he did.
He got
and
smoked.
And he, I guess he had the wind knocked out of him, and eventually he was fine. But you're thinking, okay, the season's over. Like, broken table is canceled. It was a good run, but like, no need to continue to talk about this football team without Josh Allen. And I understand the frustration from Allen on a number of levels. In fact, that they could not protect him at all last night. And again, maybe it's the receivers and, of course, the fact that they weren't able to get him any extra help. That has to be filtering down into the heads of the guys who run the offense and think, looking upstairs to Brandon Beane and saying, couldn't have gotten us anybody at all. So Shavers is not running the most routes in the first half. And again, no disrespect to him, but he wasn't even part of the conversation with his football team from the outset. So he deserves a lot of credit for getting himself into it. But the fact that they couldn't get anybody, you have to wonder if, Stevie, if that's lingering in the back of the heads of the Buffalo Bills offensive players.
Yeah, and that goes to the coaching staff, Coach Brady and those receiver coaches, because we saw Josh throw that 19-yard hitch route to Gabe Davis. Why didn't we do that a lot more? We don't only have to do it to Gabe. We can do that to anybody. Those hitch routes are there. If the guys are playing press man and they're scared or threatened by the deep route, now you throw them by, just like Gabe did. We only did it one time. So I say that's either Brady not dialing it up enough or Josh not getting to the line and just seeing the matchup and then calling that hitch or slant or whatever he needs to. That's it right there. It's as simple as that, brothers.
I feel like like you said, where's the slant? This team does not run a slant play ever. Shakir that seems like just a layup for him. But I'm going to touch on something both of you said. You mentioned, aka the connectivity that appears to be missing between Josh and Joe Brady. And Stevie, you've sort of talked about, hey, in the offseason, are these guys going to be here? If you now are in a situation where you're McDermott, you're Bean, you're Joe Brady, if this does not end well, like if you lose before the AFC Championship game, everybody's probably gone. You need to make the call to Brian Daboll right now. Swallow your pride, Sean McDermott.
Daboll? Come on in.
Him in. Hey, we're hiring you as a special assistant. You have a relationship with Josh. Josh loves working with you. Fix our passing game. Daboll, give us. Joe Brady has not earned the respect to keep Daboll away now. You need to call him and try to fix this because you can't make a trade. The trade deadline's passed. You can't. What are you gonna? You can bring Stevie off the street. You can bring OBJ off the street.
Idea.
Sure.
That'll work. OBJ would be nice.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, if your outs are limited, so call Daboll. What is stopping you from bringing Brian Daboll in, who worked in the league this year, who is has this chemistry with Josh Allen? Bring him in to try to fix your passing game.
It's happened before. Remember, Robert Saleh gets fired. He ends up on a different coaching staff. And I mean, maybe they have made the call and Daboll has rebuffed them. I'm not sure exactly how it played out, but at this point in time, after watching an offensive display like that last night, Stevie, I mean, Daboll, come on down, buddy. Let's see what you got. Maybe you have some ideas for us.
Right, got to do something at this point. And like we said, we've seen that in the league where coaches come in and play like a assistant or a mentor role on the staff quality control, and that may be the spark needed for Joe Brady or the words needed in his ear, on little things that he can adjust, and that way the season can be salvaged. Not even a season, but these coaches' jobs. Well, I'm gonna say these coaches, Joe Brady's job,
everybody's job,
everybody's job. No, I don't know. I feel like McDermott and Bean will still be here, but I feel like everybody else maybe. Well, Joe Brady, I feel like would just be gone, and
he might be a head coach somewhere, Joe Brady. And it's crazy as it is to say the way we're talking about
Penn
him today.
State, LSU, he could go back to LSU.
I mean, and again, like the elephant in the room remains Keon Coleman, and I don't know what the deal is with this guy.
You have to bring him back now.
I mean, you may as well. Yeah. Is it possible this 2-game absence, Stevie, maybe re-energizes him, wakes him up, and maybe he can be an impact player against Pittsburgh in their next game?
Yeah, as a player, I would say this is a wake-up call. It's one of those things where, okay, maybe if I was in, I would have made that catch because we all see Keon go up and get it and he leans in. Gabe was like falling back when he tried to make that catch. So, that's one of them things where it's like, dang, all of this fire that I was in, if I would have showed up to this meeting, I would be in a position to make that play that I've always made, and then I'll be the hero right now. So I think seeing that in the film room is going to wake them up and will push them to another level against a good test coming up. They get rest and then get to play against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It should be a show.
That's a massive game now against the Steelers because if you look at the playoff picture, you're potentially in jeopardy of missing the playoffs now. And
minus 850 are the Bills.
I know
that, which is kind of a long number considering.
It really is, but like the schedule's not easy.
No.
And here's a great stat from Warren Sharp about, and this now plays into the Bills having to both go on the road and their remaining games on the road. Bills are 11-12 on the road since week 1 of 2023. And here are the 11 quarterbacks they beat. Easton Stick, Sam Howell, Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, Joe Flacco, Geno Smith, Tua twice, Aaron Rodgers, and then Goff and Mahomes. You got 2 good wins there. So this team is a different team at home. And the last 2 weeks show us that. And now you are going to have to go on the road for almost the entire playoffs.
Oh, for sure. They're going to be on the road in the playoffs, barring some catastrophe for New England. But, I mean, again, would you rather, and we talked about this before, would you rather play at Denver or home to Kansas City or Baltimore.
At Denver, I was good with, but after what I just saw Houston's defensive ends do.
Denver and Houston are the same defensively. They're both unbelievable.
But this is the thing. That I think last night, Spencer Brown being hurt was a major factor. That was a huge factor there. And like Dawkins didn't look great, but Dawkins also got banged up in that game.
A lot of injuries last night for Buffalo.
Well, Bernard went down.
And he was in a sling, so that's not a good
Bernard
sign.
in a sling.
Hairston hurt.
Hairston was concussion. Spencer Brown left the game and did not come back. So
Yikes.
There's
a bad defense gets even more injured.
Yeah.
Not a good combination.
Okay, so let's talk about that defense. You texted me during the first half, and that was where my anger was.
It was a long response. Thank you.
Pissed. Yeah, I was very pissed off with that defense. They kind of ran all over them, especially in the first half. But let's give the defense some credit. Held Houston to 2 of 12 on third down. Now, well, obviously, Davis Mills, but as you said, Davis Mills now 3-0.
3-0.
But here's what the Houston offense did in the second half. 3-play drive, -6 yards punt. 3-play drive, 3 yards punt. 7-play drive, 14 yards for a field goal. 3-play drive, 1 yard punt. 4-play drive, 24 yards punt. The defense was amazing in the second half. They gave you what you needed to win, even given all of those injuries. So what are you more concerned about, the defense or the offense?
Oh, I think right now it has to be the offense. And again, just the predictable nature. We talked about it earlier, the lack of options that Josh Allen has to throw to. And it's funny we talk about the offense after they just scored 42 points at home against Tampa, but it is very much a home-road dynamic where you know what you're getting at home. They're scoring 30 points every single time. It almost doesn't matter who the opponent is. For whatever reason, this team goes on the road and they look completely different offensively. The defense, as they get healthier, and we'll find out the statuses of guys like Bernard and Hairston as the week goes on, which are obviously two huge question marks heading into that game against Pittsburgh.
At least you have the mini bye. You have some time.
You do. But offensively, this is how this team is going to win. We don't expect this defense to look like the 85 Bears at any point. We do expect this offense to be amongst the league's best. And if they're not, if they have an off day, they're probably going to lose in the playoffs should they get there, Stevie.
Yeah, I'm going to go on the opposite side of that and say I'm concerned with the defense. Why? Because the offense had more good times, more 30-point games, more 40-point games than the defense has had shutouts versus top players and versus players that we barely know. So I'm gonna be concerned with them. They've been a bend but don't break type of defense, and that was last year. You can't go into this new year, new evolved year, trying to still be a bend but don't break team and not elevate your mind to be gritty and add the toughness. That's what I saw last night from the Buffalo Bills. Bend but don't break, but they weren't tough and they got dominated. That's my point.
It's just how many bodies can you lose before you're a shell of your former self? Like, Stevie, touch on the injuries, because you look at what this defense was to start the year, and like especially what we saw from Hoyt in the 6 quarters he played was amazing. Ed Oliver was having an awesome year. At what point have you lost too many bodies to be competitive anymore? And I think we saw that with the Lions last year.
Exactly.
Man, but yes and no. As a player answering this, I got my shot because somebody got injured. So, those guys need to be ready. You're on the roster for a reason. So, guys getting injured is something that we all know is going to happen in the NFL. If the guy behind them isn't ready, then cut him. Bring somebody else in, and it's a rotation. That's what you have to do. There's no reason to hold these guys. Hoyt, what he was doing, he brought energy. He brought that passion. He brought that grit. And I think that's what the guys probably miss now, seeing it on film. Go back and check film when Hoyt was playing and get some of that energy, because it looked too boring and dull for me for a defensive line that's supposed to be in a Super Bowl, brothers.
One thing that's really impressed me over the last couple of weeks, and we all got tantalized by what we saw from Hairston in that first start, Trey White, since Hairston has come, has been really good. And Trey White had another good game yesterday. Taron Johnson was a bit of a concern in the first half, missed a lot of tackles. But the biggest third down, Taron Johnson was there to make a big tackle. So since McDermott has kind of started calling plays, so we think, the defense has made the necessary steps. And I use yesterday's second half as a good point with looking at the defense. And I think the defense will have a good showing against Pittsburgh. We don't obviously know what's up with Rodgers. Like, is his wrist messed? What's going on? But for me, that the offense really needs to get back on track. But if you ask Deion Dawkins, it's a game of inches.
It's a game of inches. At the end of the game, Gabe caught a beautiful pass. If his feet were just a couple more inches the other way, the energy would be a little bit different. Even though those guys got to our quarterback, the energy would just be a little bit different. So it's a game of inches. Like you would think that it was a full game, like whooping, but it's just football, man. Thursday night ball, good on good. I respect those guys.
Okay, so we just heard from Deion Dawkins. You flagged this early. This sound got you a little excited. Let's hear it.
It did. Well, I think it's a very optimistic viewpoint on, again, you lost the game and you lost to Davis Mills. Again, not trying to take anything away from Davis Mills. You lost to a backup quarterback and you put up 19 points in doing so. And sure, a lot of different things.
Your offense didn't because you spent that one of those special teams touchdowns.
Ray Davis, really, you put up 12 points. Good point. Ray Davis, that 97-yard kick return. Happy birthday, Ray, by the way. I know you're a big fan of Broken Table, but it's just a very optimistic viewpoint. And I get it. You're in the heat of it. And you're battling with that Houston D-line all night long if you're Deion Dawkins. He's been around this team, been a great player for this team for a very long time. But this is a game of wins and losses. And I'm not into moral victories personally. And sure, if Gabe Davis does this or this play happens this way, they had some good fortune. How often do you convert a 4th and 27?
Yes.
So
it goes the other way.
It goes both ways. So I understand that you're trying to maintain positivity. It's not like you've been eliminated from the postseason or anything if you're Deion Dawkins, but it's just a little bit too rosy of a picture he's painting for me.
Yeah, I'm going ride with AK. I understand what Deion's saying, and it does make sense. It gives us that hope. Like, yeah, it feels like the season's over, but it's not. We still got plenty of opportunity. But then I'm riding with AK because, yeah, moral victories, they just make me more upset. So yeah, I'm riding with you, AK, on this one. We got to toughen it up to get those boys back.
And now that we're kind of abandoning the possibility of an AFC East victory for the Buffalo Bills, and let's get Pittsburgh and Baltimore out of it. We're not sure exactly. Indy or the New England Patriots or or the Denver Broncos in the AFC. If you could go to one of those three places if you're Buffalo, who is it?
I think it's Indy for me, but go ahead, Stevie.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say Denver because Denver or Indy. They beat Denver last year in the playoffs at home, and I feel like just that familiarity. This is what I'm noticing from the Buffalo Bills when they play against teams they've already beaten. They seem to handle their business. When they play against teams that's kind of got the best of them or matched up with them, we don't know what's going to happen. So I feel like the Indy or Denver would be easy.
Well, what would Jonathan Taylor's over?
So that's
for rushing on FanDuel.
122 and a half. The Taylor factor scares me if it's Indy. The Denver thing, the pass rush is what scares me. But to Stevie's point, I just watched them beat Denver in a playoff game. So yeah, it's one of those two teams, or even New England. Like, none of them really, really scare me. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you. I might go New England. I know the Bills have lost head-to-head with New England, but I kind of view the Patriots as a team that hasn't been there yet. And I know Daniel Jones has won a playoff game. And I know Denver was there last year.
Daniel Jones also got smoked in his next playoff game when he came back.
Exactly. But this Patriots team, Drake May's just a kid. I mean, the first playoff experience.
He's not ready.
Well, maybe he is. And again, we'll have to find out. And maybe we very well do find out if the Bills have to travel to Foxborough. But I might lean New England. I think they're very closely contested. And it's a real shame, fellas, that we're talking about who the Bills are going to have to go to, because there's been a lot of missed opportunities throughout the course of the year where maybe things would be very different in the AFC East.
Well, but let me just real quick on going back to the Dawkins sound. One point I want to make. It's a Thursday night. You're playing on a short week. You're on the road against the best defense in football. That will be my caveat of that's a hard game to win. And who is the offense, who everybody loves, who's the hot coach of the year candidate, who's the MVP favorite? It's your Rams, it's Matthew Stafford, it's Sean McVay. What did they do at home against the Texans? They put up 14 points. So nobody has played this Texans defense and look good. So why would we expect Josh and the Bills to go and do that and look good on the road? Maybe they should, yeah, whatever. They're a great offense, but this defense is unbelievable. And I think sometimes, and that's kind of what Deion was pointing at, is that this is not an easy situation. Sure, they're favored by 6, but you're not just going to walk in and beat a team on the road on a short week easily. And I think that's kind of the only thing that's lost in it, and that is why I'll take the optimistic approach on that.
You think Houston's a Super Bowl contender?
I think if CJ Stroud is healthy and is getting to that first-year form, that defense is a Super Bowl contender. And then I think if they can get just a little bit from the offense, they could maybe get there.
They have pieces, right? I mean, Nico Collins is one of the best receivers in the
Christian
league.
Kirk has emerged.
Woody Marks looks
Woody
good,
Marks
and running back, the corpse of Nick Chubb
Higgins,
still out there.
The rookie receiver they drafted looks good.
And Stroud, I mean, I wonder if Houston, if you asked Denver, would you rather the Bills come to you or Houston? And you're like,
I don't think anybody wants to play that Houston defense.
Yeah.
Stevie, what do you think?
That is pretty interesting now that you bring that up, because I'm thinking about the old school Baltimore Ravens, that team that held the Super Bowl Lombardi from their defense. And all you need is a little bit of offense. And we saw that last night. And we also saw it with Denver Broncos. You have a defense like that, and you got a young quarterback that's letting it rip, plus athletes around there. They might be dangerous also. I'm thinking twice now. This AFC is tough.
AFC it's gone a lot deeper as the year has gone on. And say what you will about Denver and Indy and New England, how much you believe in them, they're legit teams. At this point in time, these are not fraudulent teams. They are teams that can beat anyone on any given day. And then you have KC. This has to be the longest we've gone without mentioning KC in an episode of Broken Table. But KC, you have Baltimore, you have Houston, you have the Bills. I mean, the AFC, all of a sudden, you're looking at it and say, I don't know. You could make a case for 7 or 8 teams that could win this conference.
Well, and fun fact that Stevie mentioned those 2000 Ravens. I think it was the 2000 Ravens. And this just is maybe a snapshot on the discourse of NFL and how it's so week to week. That team went like 8 weeks without scoring an offensive touchdown. They had Tony Banks as their starting quarterback until the change was made, and then going on a run and winning a Super Bowl. So like a ton can change, and a great defense can carry you to a Super Bowl.
So we're positive now. It's all good, Bills fans. No worries. Houston's
the Bills
defense
still need to get gritty.
Yes,
Our
they do.
defensive line still need to get gritty. Choke some people up. Don't just put your hands on them. Put your hands on him and put his jersey through his neck. Like, you got to do those type of things, man. It's too nice out there. Too many nice guys. Too rosy, right? That's what you say, AK?
That's right. Too rosy.
Well, you know who wasn't nice? Was Stevie Johnson. When we put him up against some beer leaguers, when Stevie was down here about a month ago, we went to a park. We got some of basically Thomas Korolnek, one of the bar down guys. He runs a touch football league. So I said, hey man, get us some of your best. Get us your best athletes from the touch football league, and let's see if they could cover Stevie Johnson. So let's give a watch to that right now.
Oh man. Oh, run that back.
You're looking live, or actually likely at archival footage of the city of Toronto, where 3-time 1,000-yard receiver in the NFL Stevie Johnson is about to go up against some beer leaguers. Let's meet who he's up against.
Arun Kumar, linebacker, TMU.
Oh, motion. There you go.
Hard ground.
Broken Table production, baby.
He forgot his assignment, or I think he forgot the entire assignment. Don't help him up, he's gonna make the same mistake again.
It's not all about speed and running hard off the ball. That's the deception in it. I go slow, so he feel like, oh, I'm on it, and then I burst on him. Now he like, oh, snap. Then I stick on him, and now he like, I ain't got the wheels to do this. It's a wrap already. Easy.
So Stevie Johnson, after this, has to go back to the States. He's driving through the border. Will he be declaring your ankles, which he snatched on that first route?
You know what? My cleats got stuck in the dirt. Hard ground. I don't know if it's legal, but.
Hawk, how you feeling? Is this the best receiver you've ever played with?
Yes, I can confidently say that. Way better than Luka.
No!
First DB to call me out before the game, similar to Sherman. But let's see if he play press or off. That's going to determine if he's really serious about his talk.
Luka Vricchio, cornerback, Drip University.
Scared. Look at him. Playing off already.
Oh man.
Send him for a hot dog. I didn't know TMU had a football team, and now I'm really convinced they don't if this guy's on it.
Shout out my guy, Richard Sherman. Last time somebody talked crap to me, 150. Second time somebody talked crap to me, he touched dirt.
He did me dirty. I deserve that one.
I saw a lot of people on the ground. How you feeling?
Toronto got heart. Nobody was scared to press me, and that's what I'm most impressed about. DB's already at a disadvantage, but when you show heart and playing press, I give you my respect.
Okay, Stevie, unbelievable. AK, you were laughing the whole time we were watching that. Just go.
Again, that's like a college student. This is not a child. Stevie was just destroying there.
These are grown men.
These are grown men.
In their 20s, in their early 20s.
Yeah,
so like
and
athletic peak.
Stevie Johnson just embarrassed that guy. Like if that video gets online, he's never going on a date
it's going
again.
everywhere online.
He is never going on a date again. It's over for him as far as his dating life goes because Stevie Johnson just ended it. And it goes to show just what an incredible athlete Stevie Johnson still is. Of course, we know what a great receiver was in his NFL prime. The guy still got it.
It's crazy to
Hey, thank you. Thanks for the flowers. I'm going to say is two things that correlate with that for our Buffalo Bills. You know, I didn't just show up expecting to win. I showed up and I went out and I had to dominate. You know, it wasn't a bully style. And I want to give credit to those guys at with the Beer League. They played hard. They competed. They stood up to the challenge. But you know, why so serious? Had to get in his bag a little bit.
It's funny to me that you kind of forget that Stevie is like the 1% of the 1%.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
one of the best athletes on the planet running against a kid from Ryerson. I mean, what do you expect's going to happen?
And that's
hey, another thing. Here's a humble thing though. If I would have just showed up, I probably would have had a Pittsburgh moment. So that's why you got to show up and show out, brother. So, you know. One
thing I will say though too, and Stevie, apologies on this. We had him working. He must have ran like 40 routes by the end. He was winded. That you could tell that you hadn't run routes like that in a long time. That was like the 2-minute drill followed by another 2-minute drill and another 2-minute drill.
Oh, that's
it was like a 20v1. It was a 20v1. I was still trying to hold it down, you know.
Okay, let's transition to the rest of the league and let's take it to the streets with the return of the Streeter Same Game Parlay. Jogger wearing shorts. You got a moment? You got a second? No?
No, I'm sorry.
Bold choice with the shorts. We are on the streets of Toronto to do a little same game parlay for the game of the week between the Chiefs and Colts. Who's your favorite team?
Chicago. Kansas City. Buffalo Bills.
Okay, so we're going to make a little same game parlay on FanDuel. So what makes you a Chiefs fan?
I like the dynamic of the team.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I like Kelsey. I like Chris Jones. I like Patrick Mahomes.
Gotta love Chris Jones. Chris Jones is a monster.
She's a Mahomie.
Oh, so what do you think in the game? Chiefs or Colts? Who you got?
I got the Chiefs.
What about you guys?
Colts. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
We're off to a great start. Mahomes passing yards, 271.5. That's a big number, but too big?
I think it's too big.
Okay, so we're going under on Mahomes. What about Kelsey? Travis Kelsey's number, 51.5.
I think that could go.
Okay, so we're gonna go Kelsey over. Let's go Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice, great receiver, but he's going to have Sauce Gardner on him. Rashee Rice, 6.5 catches. We're going over or under?
Under.
We're going under. Okay, so I kind of like this.
You're going to win.
I like what's happening here. This is a good parlay. You paying attention yet?
I am now.
Now you're paying attention. Okay, we are good to go. Let's make this bet on FanDuel. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Have a great day. Yankees cap. Football fan? Hey, man, are you a football fan at all?
From the UK.
So,
Soccer fan.
Who's your football team?
Patriots.
Patriots fan? Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, sorry.
So how you feeling about Drake May? You good? You're feeling Drake May?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling that he still has stuff to prove.
Yeah.
Not like jumping on the bandwagon so quickly.
Okay, so this is a big game for you because the Colts are who the Patriots are competing for home field. Let's start with the game. Who do you like, Colts or Chiefs?
I gotta tell you, really torn, but I think the Chiefs.
What else do you like on there? Is Mahomes gonna have a big game? You like Travis Kelsey? You got anytime touchdowns there?
Jonathan Taylor, anytime.
Okay,
for the anytime touchdown, Jonathan Taylor, there's a reason why he's number one on this list.
Well, you're speaking my FanDuel language, so it sounds like you're a bettor. So this is good. So we got.
I'm not, but maybe I should be. I like the over for both of these teams.
Okay.
Kind of high, but I feel like this will be a high scoring game. For my fantasy team, I'm hoping Michael Pittman's over on everything. I think over 4.5 receptions is good. Patrick Mahomes on over 1.5 touchdowns.
Okay, so here we go. We're gonna make this bet on FanDuel, and now you're a Patriots fan. You went from Tom Brady to Drake May, so I wish nothing but the worst to you moving forward.
Yeah, that's fair.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Okay, so Colts Chiefs this Sunday. You said it earlier, AK. Longest we've gone without talking about the Chiefs. If they lose this game, are they done? Are they out of the playoffs if they lose this game?
Done is a stretch. Done is a stretch, but it's a very important game for the Kansas City Chiefs. You cannot deny that. And Indy has proven all year long that they are a tough opponent because of what they can do on the ground with Taylor, who's been one of the best players all year. Danny Dimes is finding receivers. Pittman, Alec Pierce, Josh Downs. Like
they got a lot of weapons.
Tyler Warren at tight end. That's a legit team, and their defense has been solid as well. I am very curious to see what type of effort we get from Kansas City. Historically, it's a bounce back spot. They were not good against Denver. This is a game the Chiefs should win.
They need it. They need it.
We'll find out if maybe this is the end for the Kansas City Chiefs, because if they lose, they're probably 50-50 to make.
Stevie, what do you think? If the Chiefs lose, are they done?
No, they're not. The Chiefs love this. The Chiefs are similar to the Buffalo Bills. When their back's against the wall, they come out swinging. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Chiefs go on the run just like our Buffalo Bills. And hopefully they meet up in the playoffs, because it's not going to be fun if we don't beat the Chiefs to win a Lombardi.
It doesn't count.
So one note, you mentioned Tyler Warren. The Chiefs have been awful at covering tight ends. And I think Chris Long said this earlier in the week. He loves the Warren over, and I'm kind of with him. I think that's a big matchup nightmare for KC. I don't think they're going to be able to cover him. But Stevie, when you're looking at this matchup, do you think Indy, like the Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites? Who do you like in the game?
I was going to say Chiefs, but I actually think I like the Indianapolis Colts now. I think considering the addition of Sauce Gardner, he's a few weeks in with the team. They're getting to that latter half of the season where it's time to put up or shut up and see who's for real. I believe the Colts are going to edge the Chiefs, even though I'm rooting for the Chiefs to make a heck of a run.
Well, it's funny. We saw Kansas City off a bye last week not look their greatest against Denver. Now it's Indy off a bye going to Kansas City. So we'll find out what byes really mean in today's NFL.
Well, and also, too, like Stevie mentioned Sauce Gardner, I feel like if you're a corner, that's probably the easiest position to maybe integrate on a trade, because especially with Sauce, there's no what scheme is there? It's like, go play man. Hey, there's Rashee Rice. Follow him and shut him down.
Pretty much. And that's exactly what they'll have him doing on Sunday.
Okay, let's go to our best bets, and I'll kick us off here because I got something I love this week. And when I wrote it down, it was Lions 10.5. But then news came out right before we taped. Jackson Dart officially out. That means we'll have Jameis Winston once again. The line moved to 12.5, but I still love it, and here's why. Since 2023, the Lions are 10-0 off a loss, winning by an average of 15.8 points per game. The Lions lose. Dan Campbell has those boys fired up, and they beat down whoever they're playing. This year off a loss, 3-0, wins by 31, 15, and 22. So I'm laying the 12.5, and I might ladder it up to like 20.5 or something stupid. Well, just to get crazy.
I'm on Green Bay minus the points against J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings. I know it's a divisional game, but I don't care. I'm fading J.J. McCarthy. I have not seen anything good from this kid, minus that one fourth quarter he had in the early part of the season, but I am not a fan of his, and frankly, I think Justin Jefferson is going to start freaking out on the sidelines if McCarthy continues to throw picks the way that he has. I know Josh Jacobs is banged up. He's a question mark, but I believe in Emmanuel Wilson as his backup. They're going to run the ball a lot. I like the options they have at receiver this week, getting some guys healthier. So give me the Pack minus the points in the frozen tundra of Lambeau Fields.
Real question for you. Are the Packers good?
I think they're good. I don't think they're great.
Like, so
I think they're good.
A lot of people beginning of the year were like Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't think they're in that tier right now. I mean, in the NFC,
need to see more from Jordan Love, I think.
Yeah, in the NFC, it's pretty clear. There's two teams that I think are heads above everybody else, and it's the Eagles and it's the Rams. Beyond that, I guess you could look at Green Bay being in the mix to be that third team, but they need to show a lot more offensively for me to buy into them.
Agreed. Stevie, what are you thinking for your best bet?
Yeah, for me, I'm looking at the Philadelphia Eagles in the Dallas Cowboys game. Philly's going into Dallas. Dallas hot. They just beat a weak Las Vegas Raider team, so they're feeling good about themselves. This is time for the Philadelphia Eagles to step it up and show the world that they are who they think they are. And I'm going with Jalen Hurts on an anytime touchdown, passing and rushing.
I kind of love that. Like, I have a decision in fantasy this week, and I'm sorry, I know no one wants to hear about anybody's fantasy team, but a decision
I'm interested
of Drake May against the Bengals or Jalen Hurts against the Cowboys, and it's kind of like, this is
Hurts.
Yeah, I think it's Hurts too.
Hurts.
But I think a factor in that game, the Cowboys were really close in that opener to start the season.
They played great in that.
And I think the Eagles are. I'm with Stevie. They're going to go out and they're going to crush, and I love that. Hurts rushing and passing. Get a good number on that. Really
An opportunity to fade the Cowboys defense. I know they looked better last week, but no, I'm not buying it at all.
Well, also, I don't know if you saw the quote from CeeDee Lamb. That man can hold his liquor.
He can.
He wasn't throwing up. He can hold.
He doesn't care about curfew or anything. Yes. The only thing he wants people to know is, I can hold my booze. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. That's the most important thing for CeeDee Lamb.
CD got to wake up. CD got to wake up, man. He better than that. You know, he's a cat. He got a C on his chest, and he's not acting like it. You know, he gotta really step it up. To be honest.
It's funny. It shows you the difference of talent. Keon Coleman does something like that, he's getting cut. When you've got the talent of a CeeDee Lamb, when you sit out a series.
Yeah,
so,
and George Pickens.
Yeah, and Pickens.
What a crew. What a crew in Vegas. Maybe you and I can be a crew like that one day.
One day in Vegas.
Who knows?
Hey, FanDuel, send us.
Yeah, we'll go.
That's it for us today. We will no show next week because the Bills already played. This is next week's show technically. So we'll be back after the Steelers game. Stevie, play us out.
Hey, guys, enjoy y'all times. I just want to say, make sure y'all stay tuned with the Broken Table because we got all the best bets at FanDuel Canada. Stay tuned. Go Bills for life. One love, guys.